Seacott, executive editor of Brewer. Welcome to another edition of the Brewer Podcast. We are sponsored by Keg Logistics, and you can go to keglogistics.com/Brewer Mag for more details. Hey, don't forget, 24 hours a day, we're available at brewermag.com for all your business resource needs. And of course, you can find us and catch up with the podcast both on YouTube and on Spotify. Well, on this edition of the Brewer Podcast, we're continuing our bi-monthly series as we highlight leaders of state brewery guilds with Hannah Ison, who's executive director of Brewers of Pennsylvania and is also the director of brewing operations at ZeroDay Brewing in Pennsylvania. Hannah brings a unique perspective to the role of guild leadership because she's living those day-to-day realities of running a brewery as well. Along with advocating for breweries across Pennsylvania, she's also managing production schedules, inventory, quality systems, and sales all at ZeroDay, giving some first-hand insight into the challenges that brewery owners and managers are facing every day. So our conversation centers around the launch of PA Brews, Pennsylvania's new statewide craft beer branding, which was unveiled during the Craft Brewers Conference in Philadelphia this spring, and how the initiative is aiming to strengthen the state's brewing identity while driving tourism and consumer awareness, and also giving the guild a de facto marketing arm as well, which she's happy for. We also discussed the balance between representing an entire industry while helping operate a single brewery, how those two roles complement one another, and what she's hearing from breweries and navigating today's changing craft beer landscape. Hey, we also talked hip hop brew days, spoiler-free chat of the new Spider-Man movie as well. So here's Hannah Ison on the Brewer Podcast. This Brewer Mag podcast is sponsored by Keg Logistics. Now's the perfect time to review your keg management strategy. Whether you're seeking a truly flexible keg rental program or intrigued by the seamless distribution freedom of paper fill, Keg Logistics is ready to craft a personalized solution for you, ensuring you receive the kegs you need precisely when you need them. For details, visit keglogistics.com/brewermag. Keg Logistics, modern solutions for keg efficiency. And we're joined here on the Brewer Podcast with Hannah Ison of the Brewers of Pennsylvania Brewers Guild, along with ZeroDay Brewing. Hannah, thanks for joining us here on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
So the impetus of this is we're going to talk some about what's going on in Pennsylvania beer, but we do like to obviously have a chance every other month to talk to a guild director and kind of know what's going on in the state. And this kind of seems to be, the new important part that at least as a marketing campaign, PA Brews. I saw this press release come. I think it debuted during CBC, kind of like you guys. That was your formal introduction. What is PA Brews, and compared to what the guild actually is, and how are they going to work together? That's kind of how we're going to go into it. But kind of give me the start of it. Like, when did you start hearing about PA Brews and how you guys might have been a part of it?
Yeah. So PA Brews is an initiative by the Pennsylvania Malt and Brewed Beverages Industry Promotion Board. That is a governor-appointed board that allocates funding and really tries to help promote malt and brewed beverages across the Commonwealth. So they saw a need for a unifying campaign that would help with branding Pennsylvania as a beer destination. We are a state that's so rich in its history of brewing, and we have around 500 breweries in operation right now. So there's so much that has happened here in the past, and there's so much that is happening here now. As far as brewing goes, we have a ton of really, really small breweries. We have several regional sized breweries. And then we also have 2 huge craft breweries as well. So we have the full spectrum of breweries all across this big landmass of a state. And the idea of PA Brews is to try to just create like this unified voice and brand campaign where it's really promoting brewers, distributors, and just even different like travel organizations or VMOs, like places that can help put Pennsylvania on the map as a beer destination. place. So they're doing it through all kinds of different media strategies. The hard launch has not happened yet. My understanding is that, they're being very strategic about how the dollars are going to be spent. And we just had the World Cup here in Philadelphia. So, ad space and is extremely expensive during the World Cup. So I think they're being really strategic about when those ads are going to start going out. But you will start seeing them very, very soon. And we're just really excited because as far as how the guild plays into it, I mean, we're an advocacy group, right? So we help lobby and we help promote Pennsylvania beer and help brewers understand their rights and what they can and cannot do, and help them navigate the ins and outs of what it takes to run a brewery in this Commonwealth. We also host educational events and webinars and connect our associate members with our brewery members, provide all kinds of social networking opportunities, try to connect brewers to services that, they all need. But we don't do a lot of marketing. I mean, we have social media, but we don't have like a big marketing budget at all. So this initiative really helps support us trying to support brewers as far and wide as we can, because it's really filling a gap where we don't have a lot of resources. So we've been working with them. The organization that is running it is called the Gatesman Foundation, and they are brilliant at what they do. So they've done all kinds of research and come up with this awesome logo, and just it makes everything ties the whole state together in a really strategic way. They've broken the state up in different regions, and they're going to try to drive people to different regions of the Commonwealth. I know they're working with Untapped on how to get some regional badges. So it's really smart how they're doing it. They're not trying to recreate some kind of app to attract beer travelers. They're working within existing platforms and really trying to make sure that we are a part of that. So yeah. I think it sounds really smart, and it really helps us help our members. And right now we're working with them to try to see what we can do together to help drive our own membership and keep the guild sustainable, while also making sure that we're promoting breweries all across the state.
Sure. And like you said, this is, it's a bonus for you guys, because they're coming to you saying, hey, we want to market you guys. And you're like, yeah. Great, because we don't have the opportunity and time and finances sometimes to do that. So how has the reaction been since it was announced? And, how do how the breweries feel about this? What are you hearing from them?
The breweries seem excited about it. There was a meeting at CBC, and then we also had a webinar a month or two ago that we promoted to our members, and I think we had like 30 people or 30 breweries sign up for that. So it was really cool to be in that webinar setting and just have people like spouting off their questions, because there was a lot of information presented, but it seemed like people were very comfortable with opening up and asking, where can I get this? What is the next step? And a lot of that was just answered directly, and people seem really excited about it. The campaign itself, the branding is really sleek. It is really recognizable. It ties in with our state colors. It looks like it reminds me of our license plates, at least, and colors on the flag. So I think that people are really excited to see where it goes. I know right now they already have some assets out there on their website, downloadable things that you can use. I think they're working on merch, and just trying to plug them, make sure that we're pinging our members and trying to get as much feedback here right before the hard launch.
Yeah. And again, I think the reason for this is you do see and probably hear and read and wherever, that when people start talking about great beer states, do you feel that Pennsylvania gets overlooked because it's California, it's Colorado, it's Michigan, and all of a sudden it's like, what, we're as high up there when it comes to per capita, when it comes to amount of large breweries, small breweries, medium, regional, because, and again, you don't have the marketing arm to be able to do that, to have this kind of, lift up what Pennsylvania beer is all about.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the main goals, is to get that national recognition and let it be known how big of a beer state Pennsylvania is. It is a huge part of our economy here. And yeah, I mean, breweries employ a lot of people, and I'm really grateful and proud to be one of them.
That's awesome. And, and the cool thing is you kind of get to see it from two angles, as the executive director, but also working at a brewery. And you've been executive director about 1.5 years, but you've been with ZeroDay since what, 19-ish? Or was it? Kind of give me your story on ZeroDay as well.
Yeah. I started brewing in 2017.
Okay.
And I've been on the production side of things since then. I've had a variety of different roles. Right now, I think my title is Director of Brewing Operations. So kind of get to do all of the boring computer work side of stuff that it takes to run a brewery, all the inventory, ordering, sourcing. I make wort a few times a year at this point, but I do a lot on the seller side. Like, we're a pretty small team. So, yeah, but my day in and day out is basically running the operational side of things in the brewery and just picking up the pieces where I need to. So, yeah, it's a smaller brewery. It's really community focused. It happens to be in the neighborhood that I live in. So I really, really love that. It's a big part of our community, and yeah, I love being there.
How is it balancing, two full-time jobs? Basically, you're making sure a brewery is staying together. You're making sure that the state of Pennsylvania's beer advocacy is going as well. How have you found that balance? And, do you pick a certain day and today I'm the executive director, or is it this 4 hours I'm doing the Brewers of PA, and the rest of the day I'm, at the brewery? How does your work week flow?
Yeah. Balance has been really hard. I kind of had a flow, and then we had some operational changes at the brewery. And so where I had been able to spend a percentage of my time during the work week on the guild. And then that was revisited. So changing that has been interesting, but a lot of what I do in the brewery happens at 8:00 at night or 7:00 in the morning. I'm meeting contractors when it works best for them, and crashing tanks and running CIPs and stuff. So just try to be pretty open with people there about like what those hours really look like, and just kind of try to advocate for myself, make sure that the proof is in what is getting done. That even though it doesn't necessarily look like I'm sitting here from 9 to 5 every day, running a brewery, you can't just fit it in the confines of those hours all the time. So finding the balance has been a lot of really advocating for myself and just proving that what I'm doing is the actual work. I spend a lot of my time for the BOP stuff outside of normal business hours. So I'm getting up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning and answering emails. Obviously there's like banking and meetings and, things that need to happen during the work days too. So when those things happen, I make up the hours and just communicate that to supervisors. And yeah, it's just kind of a never ending readjustment, I guess. Always kind of trying to find that balance. I am pretty selfish about my time that I spend in the gym though. I love lifting weights and I make sure that I allocate at least 3 hours every week to doing that. And like 3 different days a week, I set aside an hour, if not more days, but definitely at least those 3. And that's pretty non-negotiable for me. And I think anybody who works around me knows that it's better for everyone if I get to work out. So it's definitely a mood stabilizer. It's not just for physical health. It really helps keep me sane in a crazy season of life. So that has definitely helped me find balance. Even though it's adding one more thing, I reap the benefits of that all day, all week long.
Yeah, I would think so. And I think it has become more apparent, especially even since we started this magazine back in 2012, the importance of stepping away and taking a break from, even if it's just for, like you said, an hour, maybe 3 times a week, because to shut off sometimes. I know just being from what my background is in television and radio, and now, doing this. And it's a constant, especially with the 24-hour cycle. It used to be, like you never got a chance to step away. And it's like, it's still the hardest thing for me to do sometimes. Like I'm like, it's just the last few weeks, I'm like, I'm stepping away from my phone. I'm stepping away from, a screen. And I'm like, hey, remember books? You used to like reading books. Like,
right. Yes.
So like, that's been my number one. Like we have right out here, little like enclosed porch with a couch on it. And I'm just like, I have a book sitting there and it's like, okay, you're going over there after dinner. Like get away. You don't need to put this press release up right now. You don't need to read something on your phone. Like just do that. Yeah. So it's important, I think, for anyone to be able to do that. So do you see over this last 18 months or so of being the executive director, how it's changed your thought process in the brewery? I mean, is there things in there that have kind of come together, like either what you've done working in a brewery as an executive director now, do you see interchange and thought processes and understanding what other people are coming to you as executive director when they're talking about things? What have you seen over that time?
Yeah, I definitely think that coming from a brewing background helps me be able to relate to our members a little easier than if I hadn't. I know that, brewers are really busy people. There's so many moving parts. Most are really bad at email. So it's like, there's this level of rapport that I think I have that might not have been there before. And I think that's probably why they like the idea of me being in that role. I think that, I was on the board of directors for a couple years in the past, so I've been really involved with the guild for several years now. So a lot of the things that we were working on, a lot of the initiatives that we've been working on, I was already involved in that kind of stuff. So I don't think that my perspective or like what I can bring into the brewery as far as that has changed too much because I was doing all this volunteer work too. But being so intimately involved with the legal process and just seeing how different things have impacted other members, there's a lot of stuff that I can't just come talk about to my coworkers or ownership, but I can, give gentle reminders and just make sure that we're above board for everything. As I see stuff happening to other people, just trying to like preemptively make sure that we're, as things change, there's a lot like up for interpretation, but I've got direct access to some of the smartest people in this Commonwealth. So it's really nice to be able to just say, well, your interpretation, it matters what how the Liquor Control Board interprets this. And we need to make sure that we know exactly how they're interpreting it. And luckily we have, one of the smartest general counsels as far as liquor law goes right here. So that has been really great, I guess, because there's things are just constantly changing, and we try to get that information out there in the most accessible way possible. But as new developments come and like that interpretation is changed to something else, like there is some lag time. So, just being able to answer those questions definitely, I think is a big benefit.
Is there anything?
I don't know if that makes sense at all.
Oh yeah, no, it did. And that's what I was going to ask. Like, is there something specifically going on for you guys in the state that you're either trying to work towards, new advocacy, or something that you guys have been working on for a while that, you're starting to see some daylight? This Brewer Mag podcast is sponsored by Keg Logistics. Now's the perfect time to review your keg management strategy. Whether you're seeking a truly flexible keg rental program or intrigued by the seamless distribution freedom of paper fill, Keg Logistics is ready to craft a personalized solution for you, ensuring you receive the kegs you need precisely when you need them. For details, visit keglogistics.com/brewermag. Keg Logistics, modern solutions for keg efficiency.
So we had a lot of success in the Pennsylvania House of Representatives this session. We've been working on this initiative for a few years now. Let's say maybe 4 years. We have this program in Pennsylvania. It's our malt beverage excise tax credit program. And basically, like if you purchase something for your brewery, you upgrade something, you can claim that against your taxes, and you can have it come off of like what you owe in your excise tax. So it's super cool. It helped. The idea was, this is going to incentivize growth. Well, the problem that we saw, like the program is underutilized right now. This was passed 10 years ago, and it's $5 million that's set aside in perpetuity. So it's great. Like it's already a part of the budget, but the program is underutilized. So for the last few years, we've been trying to work on how do we get more breweries to use this. There's the paperwork is kind of archaic. You have to send in all of your information on a thumb drive. Like it's just, there's a lot of, some people are like, oh, is it even worth all this time? So we've been working on modernizing that program to make it to where those credits are actually sellable. So even if you get a higher, instead of building up those credits and sitting on them and year after year having them be taken off of your excise tax, you could actually sell those credits to bigger breweries who have higher tax liabilities, and see those dollars reinvested back into your brewery a lot sooner. So we've gotten overwhelmingly positive feedback about that from our small brewers, our regional size brewers, and the big breweries, not the large craft breweries.
Yeah.
So our guild is made up of like all these different sizes, making us kind of unique, especially just with how the sheer number of breweries. And this is a piece of legislation that that's really compelling to all of them. We had it passed overwhelmingly in the House. The budget, it did not make its way into the fiscal code. They did just pass the budget. It's an election year. So budget actually got passed pretty quickly this summer, which is good. But now we have our next session. We've got some more work to do. Well, I'm not going to say it's going to happen next session. I'm not going to say what is happening, but we've got to make sure that we still have this in everyone's ears, because I think there were 4 no votes across the entire House of Representatives. So nothing that the House Finance Committee recommended ended up making it into that bill or into that budget anyway. So it's just, politics. But I think that there seems to be a lot of support on both sides of the aisle. So we just got to make sure that we're getting it passed so that we can hopefully start taking advantage of this program in a better way. The dollars are there. We really want to see them being, put back into our industry. So yeah, that's been a big thing that we're working on. I would say a hot topic issue right now is there's this interpretation of happy hour and if breweries can have happy hour or not. The legislation surrounding happy hour, when it specifically said that restaurant licenses are able to have it, but it didn't say that manufacturing G licenses are able to have it. So it didn't say that they can't, but it didn't also list that they can. So the way that it's been interpreted lately is that breweries are not allowed to have hourly discounts. So that has been something that our members are coming to us asking lots of questions. And just that's another one too, that it's like, it's not controversial. There seems to be a lot of support legislatively to make sure that happens. It's just a matter of when and where to get that in.
Language,
yeah. There's, opening up the code is not something that just happens
right.
all the time. So yeah, that one's but that's definitely like drumming up a lot of attention on social media and just so yeah.
How about just things going on locally for you guys at ZeroDay? How's things with the brewery? How have things changed, since in your time there?
Things have changed a lot.
I read. That's why I thought you would talk about it.
Yeah. So, when I first started brewing there, we were a tap room brewery all in the same space. We didn't have a restaurant. In 2020, that brewery was expanded. The tap room was moved to a newly renovated space, and it remained open for almost 5 years. That lease ended and was not renewed. So now ZeroDay does not have a tap room. However, ZeroDay does have 2 retail locations in Harrisburg. The concepts are pretty cool. We call them outposts. Mm-hmm. We have a draft system at each location. All of our cans are available. We have cocktails available at both of them. one of them is in a farmer's market, and a Pennsylvania farmer's market is very different than farmer's markets in a lot of parts of the country. Think like food court with authentic food from all over the world, and just like a gathering place. It's open all year long, all seasons. Yes, you can buy vegetables and meat and cheese there, flowers, but there's so much prepared food. There's all kinds of seating. It's just like a watering hole, a community hub. It's a hub of Harrisburg. And so it's a really, really cool place to have a bar. I love that location. And before ZeroDay even had a bar there, that opened in 2017, but I moved to Harrisburg in 2015, and I frequented the Broad Street Market every single day that it was open, probably. So adding that to it just made it even better. So that's a cool location. And then the other one is inside of an independent movie theater that is actually at the front of the building where we brew the beer. So they have 3 theaters, show movies 6 days a week, and we have a bar in that lobby. So we have that. We were dabbling with wholesalers that we are now, as of very recently, self-distributing once again. So yeah, those are, we're pretty fortunate here in Pennsylvania that we can self-distribute and we don't have to go through the 3-tier system. It is wonderful that our wholesale partners exist, and a lot of places really know how to make that work for them. But this was not the right time for us to be navigating that. So self-distro is going well. We want to ramp that up and try to sell as much beer directly to retail locations and, all of the distributors and bars and restaurants that we can find that want to have our beer.
Absolutely. And it's so important now. And I think we've changed mentalities as an industry of, we're happy with being in our area and having better margins. I mean, because it's so important now, and not trying to, I think when everyone first opens a brewery or thinks about it, the first thing they think about is, I want everyone in every county of this entire state and the states touching the states to be able to do this. And that ends up changing drastically after things have changed over, especially the last 5 years. Do you guys see that, just when you're talking about like what is so important about just being a local brewery now?
I've been there, 10 years. Mm-hmm. So I've seen a lot. And I've been managing the production schedule since 2019. So over the course of that time, I mean, we had COVID, we had so much happen. But I feel like we're constantly adjusting what I call our flow. It's like I have this idea in my head. We have this idea in our head of like all these things each quarter that we want to do and when we're going to do them and how it's going to look. And then when you go back and you look at what you actually did and when you did it, for a brewery of our size, there are a lot of adjustments that get made to that calendar. And I would say that's probably true for all kinds of sizes of breweries. Like there's so many factors that play into what you're brewing and when. One little thing doesn't show up on time, or there's so much. Glycol goes down. There's just that we're constantly solving those smaller things, but then we're also looking at scale and how far and how wide do we want this to go. Pulling back from working with a wholesaler, shortly after losing our tap room, we had a ginormous cooler at that tap room. So we had a lot of cold storage that we do not have anymore. And not working with a wholesaler, they're not moving that beer off of our floor right when it's getting brewed. So trying to be really strategic about making sure the velocity of what we're producing is selling at a rate that we need it to, but also making sure that we're not overproducing because of limited space. And I do think that we will revisit some of these partnerships and see where and when it does make sense to scale up again and do that. But we are constantly adjusting and just trying to make it work. And at the top of our priorities is, the beer quality. So I'm not trying to go brew a bunch of stuff to go sit on our floor. I want to make sure that we're brewing enough to keep our taps full and to keep our customers coming to our bars, but then also, out in the world, keep enough variety out there. But yeah, I feel like every 6 months I'm like, all right, this feels good. Like we're in a rhythm, and then something changes and I'm like, okay, here we go again. And so, just always trying to find that flow and see what makes sense.
Awesome.
What is best for the beer?
Yeah. Trying not to reinvent the wheel, but at the same time, a little bit of reinventing the wheel every 6 months or so. I know how that goes.
Yeah. But right now we're not like looking into selling beer out of the state or anything like that. Like just trying to keep going at a rate where that is manageable for us right now, where we're staying alive and not overextending ourselves after we've pulled so much back.
Awesome. Well, best of luck with that, and best of luck with the forwarding of PA Brews and your job as executive director with the Brewers of Pennsylvania. I appreciate you taking the time talking about all these different avenues that you get to work with right now, and balance it all out and get some lifts in as well. So
balance is so hard. Thank you though. You hyped me up a little bit.
Awesome. Well, I always like to, after we talk business, kind of have some fun at the end as well. And I never give them ahead of time. So these are just like, you have no idea what I'm going to ask you, but they're easy. They're fun. You're not on the brew deck all the time. But when you are you a music person? Do you have a specific playlist that you want? And what's the song that is kicking off a brew day for you?
I do love listening to music when I'm brewing. I definitely gravitate towards hip hop music when I'm brewing or lifting. I don't know. I always hesitate to say this publicly because I know it's so controversial, but I really appreciate Kanye West as a musical genius. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times I'm listening to one of his albums. I don't know if there's necessarily like a song in particular. I mean, gosh, I grew up, I like to say I grew up in the South, but I grew up in Kentucky. I don't know if you're from Ohio. Like, do you think Kentucky's the South?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm from the almost Canada part of Michigan originally, and I've lived here for 15 years. But I dated a girl in Cincinnati back, 20, 30 years ago. And to me, she was, like east of Cincinnati. She had a Southern accent to me. And I always think, and our actually brewer was founded by Tyler Montgomery. He is a University of Kentucky grad and lives in Winchester, just outside of Lexington.
I lived in Winchester for a little bit. That's funny.
Yeah, his brewery.
I graduated from UK.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, he did
Yeah.
too. And yeah, so if you ever get back that way, a Better Brewing Company in Winchester, that's it. That's
Huh.
Brewers, what we call our test kitchen. So
Oh,
you
that's
can
so
go and
cool.
check their stuff out.
Small
And
world.
that's where we get thought processes and content ideas, just because he's in it day to day, every single day, as an owner of a brewery. So he's like, other owners are going to be asking these questions. This is what we should be
Hmm.
writing about, and going and down those avenues. So
That's awesome.
but yeah,
Small
definitely
world.
the South. It to me
Okay.
it is.
Yes. All
We
right.
used to, at one point we had a staff of, I would say, 6 people. We had someone in Texas, someone in Georgia, 2 people from Kentucky, and me. And I got ganged up on so many times for my accent. And they're like, because of course I'm near Canada, so every once in a while the long O's will come out in a boat and stuff like that. So
I definitely
yeah,
picked up on
it's
that.
definitely I was like, yeah, but to you, everyone sounds like I'm listening to banjos playing. I'm bing bing bong bong bong, and they just so yeah. Group Zoom calls
Yeah.
were always a fun time to make fun of each other for each other's
Yes.
accents. And that's what is great with America. We can all communicate in just a slight twang.
Yeah. That's a big place.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I was gonna say, for music wise too, I'm in the camp of, when it comes to when someone becomes controversial, you don't get rid of everything that led up to it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you were saying with Kanye, like there's great music that's been made before that. And I agree that, it's not
Yeah.
as controversial. Now, mind you, if you're wearing his shirts from recently, then no, you should not be
Yeah.
a
No, I
Kanye.
don't. Yeah. No.
But
Yeah. I
yeah.
love Kanye. I love trap music.
Mm,
Like I love like Southern, I don't know. That's always, it always hypes me up. Um, I don't know. It's gotta be something like upbeat though to just keep me going. Cause uh yeah, I can't do like slow. I can't brew to lo-fi. I can do cellar work to lo-fi,
sure.
but that's more, I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah.
second question. Whatever social media channel you're using, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, what sort of reels dominate your feed that you have no idea why they keep popping up? Like you're just scrolling, you're like, why am I getting these? And like, like, is there something that's goofy? And I'll give you an example while you think, because this is what made me think about it. Mine is people getting their backs cracked or necks adjusted, like chiropractor videos. And I'm like, what did I do? I one time tried to figure out why my foot hurt, and now I
Oh my
get
gosh.
plantar fasciitis reels, and people getting their feet rubbed
Oh
and
my
like pulled
gosh.
in different ways. I'm like, is there something like that on yours where like, why do I see these?
Okay. Yes, there is. Most of my feed is dominated by lifting, like
Sure.
working out and, people squatting, deadlifting, whatever. That one makes sense. I'm getting a lot of Marvel stuff right now. That one
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. The one that I would like to believe does not make sense, but has continuously been showing up over the last few months is Chat GPT for single moms. It's like, you
Interesting.
are not alone. And I guess it's like Chat GPT that you can talk to like while parenting solo, and like just it's like, you need support, we're here to help you, but it's a robot. But like, I'm not looking that stuff up. I'm not saying I feel so lonely, help me, or like, and I don't think that like I follow a lot of that kind of stuff. Like, so
Yeah.
that one, I think like Chat GPT knows that I'm not married and is just like trying to help me. I don't know, but I've never clicked on it, but it sounds so pathetic, but it is like, it's pretty constant. Like that happens a few times a day. I'm like, oh yeah, thanks for the reminder.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
wish there was a way to reset
I
without
think
getting
there
rid of
is.
your complete
Oh,
like
yeah.
Facebook account, like, and be like, and it's funny because I've done this experiment. We just talked about this weekend when I was in Cleveland with friends. We opened up our Instagrams where we all work in media. So we all have work accounts, and I don't use my personal Instagram. So I'm like, there's never searches on it. There's never any, it's just whatever the algorithm feels it has to give to me. Versus if you go on, like my brewer account, it'll be all beer stuff. And then you
Mhm.
look at what it is on that, and I'm like, this is why my kid's not allowed to have Instagram, because
Right.
like I'm sure there's Instagram for teens and it's not going to be that, but I'm like, I don't need half of the stuff that was on there. I'm like, I don't get it. So
Mm-hmm.
they just assume they know you and start throwing stuff
Uh-huh.
out at you, and it's like it's weird. So
It is
um
weird.
yeah. All right. And I had a different one written, but you mentioned Marvel now. So have you seen the new Spider-Man yet?
I've only seen half of it. I know that sounds crazy,
I want to know
but
now.
like,
I want to know why.
my daughter, she's 6.5, and she wanted to go see it with friends, and
Yeah.
then like an hour into it, she's like, Mom, I'm just such a chatterbox. I'm having a hard time being quiet. Can we go home? And I was like, yeah, we absolutely should go home. If you think you're not going to stop talking and you don't want to be, I'm not having you sit here for another hour and a half. So we left. That was on Sunday. I have not had an opportunity, but I'm like, I mean, I was last week. I watched Civil War. I watched Homecoming, No Way, or Far From Home, and then No Way. Like, I watched all these movies, and I was like, I'm ready. And then I didn't even get halfway through it. I did get to the pool scene, or no spoilers, but
Right. No.
it's all over the internet. So I did get to that part.
Okay.
But
Awesome. Well, then I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Then we'll skip that. I was gonna ask you what you've thought about a certain part, because since I think that's the thing. Well, and this will be the last question. Do you feel that's another going into algorithms, like how hard it is to not get spoiled? And that's the reason I went on Tuesday and
Yes.
saw it, because I'm like, I am not going to last another day was scrolling and seeing something like I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know who Sadie Sink's character was,
Mm-hmm.
so it took like, and I brought my he'll be 14, the 8th grader, and I'm leaning over to him, telling him, because like he doesn't know a lot of the canon from the comic books, so I'm kind of giving him some stuff while we're watching it. But I was like, yeah, there's too many spoilers out there. We need to go. And Tuesdays in our town, it's a discount day. So like, okay, for $12, me and you can go and see a brand new movie versus paying
Yeah, that's
$13.50
awesome.
a person. I'm like, let's just go do it now and get it out of the way. I made it from, whatever, Friday to Tuesday without getting spoiled.
Yeah.
So good luck on that.
Yeah, I got to get in there and see the rest of it.
So I'll go back to my original question then. If someone handed you a free airline ticket tomorrow with no work obligations, and you can fly wherever you want to go, where are you going, and what are you eating first?
I don't know. I want to go to the complete other side of the world, just because I know that's like the most expensive. Like, I'm like, I should go to New Zealand. But I've been like, there's two places that are like the next on my bucket list I really want to go: Morocco and Portugal.
Nice.
And I don't really know much about the cuisine in Morocco, but I do know that like I love paella. That's my favorite meal. Yeah, so I feel like in Portugal I could get some good paella. I know it's more of a Spanish thing, but I don't know. Morocco just seems, at least from pictures I've seen of other people who have gone, it just seems so culturally unique with like all the French influence, and I would have no idea what to expect. It also just looks absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, in the US, I'm dying to go to New Orleans, kind of for the same, like I've heard the culture, like New Orleans is like being in a different country. Like it's just so, like the food is, it's just so unique from anywhere else in the US, and somehow I haven't made it there yet. So
that's
but that's not where I'm taking my free ticket.
That's cool. I just got back. I was in New Orleans in April for our Urban South cover story. Took my wife there, and we spent 5 days there. And I would say, and it sounds like I'm kind of digging on it. It's Las Vegas with way more culture and way more like history. Like that would be the difference, because of course you have such the early French settler influence, the Creole, the voodoo, but at the same time, it is definitely a party town, especially when you're downtown. You're going to see that. But I would say, yeah, it's worth going to. The food was amazing. Like,
Yeah.
we went there, and I don't think we went a day without, and probably a meal without eating seafood, probably in some
Yes.
aspects. So it was awesome. I would say definitely get that. It's a good bucket list to check off.
Try to make that happen.
Cool. Well, Hannah, I appreciate you taking the time to talk business and talk some fun as well. And, keep doing what you're doing. And I appreciate you having you on the podcast.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
This Brewer Mag podcast is sponsored by Keg Logistics. Now's the perfect time to review your keg management strategy. Whether you're seeking a truly flexible keg rental program or intrigued by the seamless distribution freedom of paper fill, Keg Logistics is ready to craft a personalized solution for you, ensuring you receive the kegs you need precisely when you need them. For details, visit keglogistics.com/brewermag. Keg Logistics, modern solutions for keg efficiency.